Hi, welcome to Living in the Light, and I'm Mary Amy, and I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to truth's potential, and cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart. Welcome, the first timeline arrivals, the first wave of volunteers. You're in the fifth dimension. We are here together, fellow light workers and star seeds and beings of light. You're a highly advanced being. You're a sacred being. Welcome. Hello. So today, January 10th, Tuesday in the Matrix work week, here we are together. And I'm just reminding you to tune into your heart, ask your heart, see how you're feeling, because it's essential to gaining awareness to who you are exactly. And the more that you know about yourself, the more that you ascend, the more light codes activate your DNA, your superior DNA, your blueprint of all those special qualities that you have and characteristics. So thanks for joining us. Anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So today we're going to cover topics like mummy masks, critical mass, and Awake 2023. Of course, I will touch on angels and psychic phenomenon, and we'll do an exercise, and we're going to speak of being intuitive, because we're all intuitive. Let me share with you. I think I'm beginning to crack. And what I mean by that is, I think it's all becoming too much for me. I'm working in the matrix and I'm trying to do everything, but it's not just that. It's more or less what's going on in the world. It's a little disconcerting to me. I'm a little concerned. There's a lot of this suddenly died recently in the last few days, more and more of that. And I guess, I think it's, or I sense that it must be bothering me. It must be bothering me. Everything must be taking a toll, and I'll tell you why. I literally went to my job in the matrix and I ran around, and then I came home and I had to take a really hot shower for a really long time to kind of chill, but then that wasn't enough. And then all I did was want to eat. But I don't even know if I was that hungry. I think I'm just stressed. We do some of these things when we are stressed out. And I guess I'm a little bit more stressed out than usual. I don't know if you're feeling that. I don't know if you sense what's going on out there in the physical reality like I do. And I've been hearing it's going to be happening more and more. And I don't know, I'm just a little bit frazzled. And maybe if I get a good night's sleep, I'll wake up tomorrow, like I always say, and brush myself off. And then I'll just move on and start all over fresh. And I'll probably do that. How are you doing? Share in the chat. What's going on with you? How have you been today? Now, if you could say out loud, or if you could imagine your thoughts in front of you, I just shared my thoughts, my own personal story, which is, I guess I'm a little more stressed than I've been. And, that's what happens when we take on new tasks and activities in our life, and we have things change up a little bit. We kind of feel uncomfortable. Maybe I feel a little lost, a little confused right now. And I don't know. It just hit me. It hit me all of a sudden. Like I said yesterday, over the weekend, I couldn't stop crying. And I am having a lot of vivid dreams at night. I wake up and I remember my dreams. And I don't know if you're remembering your dreams. And so I wanted to remind you about having a dream journal. So I myself have actually put together a little dream journal. And I guess I did this maybe 3 or 4 years ago. You can find it on Amazon. And I am plugging this, but it's not really about my dream journal. It's about you having a dream journal and keeping track of your dreams. Just have a pen and paper next to your bed, and that can be your dream journal, and write down your dreams. Our dreams are guiding us. Our dreams are giving us notice about something we should pay attention to. And they can be very powerful. And you have your own personal journey that you're supposed to be following. And if you get off your track, if you get off your pathway, your dreams can share with you exactly what you're supposed to be doing, or a direction you should take, or something maybe you shouldn't do, like an alert, So just pay attention to your dreams. Mummy masks. Well, what are mummy masks? It just came to me like some of these topics just flood into my mind, and I hear these words and I just target that. And I go down the rabbit hole and I do the research and I say, what exactly is a mummy mask? And, for me, I guess the whole idea of a mask is harmful. I don't like the concept of masks. I never have. I know that we can wear masks on Halloween to cover our face, but anything other than that, I don't sense it's necessary. So this terminology came into my mind, mummy mask, and so I decided to look into it. And I realized and I found out that a mummy mask is does symbolize funerals and death. And it's passing on to the realm of the dead. So it's not really a positive thing, a mask. We've been seeing masks out in our physical reality for the last 2.5, almost 3 years, covering the face of adults and children, and it makes me very uncomfortable. Now, this is a personal opinion, obviously, coming from me, my own ideas. And although masks can conceal one's identity entirely or partly, maybe it's here, maybe it's up here, maybe you just see the eyes, worn especially to frighten others, like I said, at Halloween. It is a little bit scary. I see these moms and these people out in the matrix, in the simulation, in the illusion, wearing masks in front of their babies. And I can only imagine if my babies had ever seen me in a mask, it might scare them because it kind of scares me. And, masks are known to be worn for rituals or ceremonial purposes, and they're not so positive. We're talking about some real dark stuff. Every time I see out in the public a little child wearing a mask, I cringe, I freak, my heart stops. I hold my breath because I know that they've been using for decades, maybe thousands of years, hundreds of years, thousands of years, masks on children during rituals, satanic rituals. So I am asking everyone out there to please stop wearing a mask unless you're sick or you're in the hospital, because it is for satanic rituals. Unfortunately, leaders have guided us in the last almost 3 years to employ the use of masks allegedly to protect us. But we know that they didn't do much protection of germs. Everyone still got sick. Plus, people are pulling them down, putting them up, putting them down, wearing them here, whatever they're doing. It's not working. It's a bad idea. And this I feel very strongly about. You'll see I rarely ever get this upset because it breaks my heart. So I'm suggesting no more masks. Like I said, mummy masks. The Egyptians, they were a symbol of funerals and death and in the realm of the dead. It's not a positive thing. So we don't need a mask unless we're sick. People are now conditioned. It takes 66 days to make something a habit. And some out there, please, let's pray for them that they take their masks off because they're covering their beautiful faces. We are all beautiful beings of light. Now, a mask may may be used in a hospital. That's one thing, but some still believe a mask must continue after the illness is no longer current. So during his satanic rituals, the elite used masks on children and during human trafficking, and it takes the identity and the humanity out of the situation. So know this. This is true. Masks are blocking us from truth and protecting criminals. The people no longer have the power. So let's move on from the masks. That's just my personal opinion. You can see I'm very, very riled up about it, and I hardly ever get riled up, but I'm asking you all to, unless you're sick, unless you're ill, and if you are, maybe stay home. You don't need a mask unless you're in the hospital And some doctor's offices say you must, but to drive around in your car wearing a mask is symbolism of death and funerals. Why don't you just look it up on DuckDuckGo? It's true. And I kind of concealed what I wanted to talk about by calling it mummy masks, but I looked up mummy masks and it symbolizes funerals and death. So please, no more masks. Let's all breathe in the fresh air, especially if you're outside. Breathe in the fresh air. How are you supposed to get healthier and grow? We have to have sunlight touching our face. And if your face is covered, there's no sunlight hitting your face, and you must breathe fresh air. Critical mass. We're going to move on because that's enough of me ranting. If you want to catch my rant, hey, Alexandra Morel, thank you for joining us. Alexandra, did you hear how I was complaining about how when I got home? So I got home from my job in the Matrix, and I just was so stressed out about everything that's going on in the world that I was like, I have to eat this and I have to eat that and I have to have sugar and I have to have salt. And I went a little bonkers. I'm going to have to spend an extra half an hour in the gym tomorrow and drink lots of water and go to bed early. Critical mass. We hear this terminology and we've heard it in the past. It's the amount required to trigger a phenomenon causing a chain reaction. And we have now hit critical mass. So this is the good news. This is the good news of sorts. And what I mean by that is, so planet Earth has reached a threshold of its limits. Planet Earth is done. It's on its way of ridding itself between the Earth and the sun. There's a cosmic event happening right now. The event is happening as we speak. Planet Earth has reached a threshold of its limits. Now, if you're aware of what's going on in the last 24 hours, there has been some solar flares. There has been some X-class flares. And I believe that we are in the process of having the solar flash, which is good news. Now, what does that mean exactly? That means light is coming onto the Earth, and we are shifting out of this very carbon-based, low vibrational energy. There is going to be a very strong divide. This is the critical mass that we have reached. The Earth and the sun are taking over. It's done. The Earth is fed up with all of our misbehavior and our naughtiness on its environment and polluting it. And I'm not saying you in particular. I'm saying those that are basically in power, the way they've handled our beautiful Earth, our new Earth Gaia. So the planet Earth has reached this threshold of its limits as we witness the result of the pushing within the matrix. The strange, weird, unusual events are taking place. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you're going to see more pass. You're going to see a lot more suddenly died. If you notice out there, it's been happening. It's creeping, and now it's becoming more and more current. And there are those out there. Now, we spoke about soul contracts in the past, that before we are born and incarnated on this earth, we have a contract. We have contracts that we've made up, our souls have made up to come here. Now, I don't know if those beings had a soul contract. I don't know if it's the decisions that they made since they've been here on this earth. We've spoken about discernment and being very aware of your decisions. And I don't know what decisions they made, but it seems as though there's many out there that are passing away. We're seeing heart attacks and we're hearing about cancer, and it's cancer that's coming back, and people are finding out that they have like 4-stage cancer and then they die a few weeks later. It's very, very strange. Not only that, but we are going to be hearing from those out there, because what they do is the evil puts it out in front of us. Whatever they're doing that's wrong and that's evil against humanity, because then they are trying to desensitize us. And if we know that they're doing it, then they're not held responsible. If we are aware what's going on with the evil beings on this earth, then they can get away with it. So they're now going to be telling us more and more of what they're doing. And is your hair going to stand up? It probably will. So be aware. more strange, weird, and unusual events are going to be taking place. Now, environmentally, there's been some earthquakes recently. We don't know. Maybe there's going to be floods, earthquakes, I don't know, tsunami, I don't know. Some very strange environmental events are about to take place. So be aware. Now, is this about fear? No, this is what has to happen before this new earth comes into play. We speak of the Awake 2023, and I'm going to get into that. So this is the toppling over of structures. So what's happening is evil, the dark forces, the black hats, all of those possessed, if you want to say Lucifer, Satan, the devil, whatever you want to call it, the dark energies in the universe know that they have been defeated and they are holding on for dear life, and they're pushing forward whoever they have representing them. But it's not going to end well for them. In fact, it isn't ending well for them. They are done for. Whoever's joining us, thank you for liking the video. I really appreciate that. Appreciate anyone who's here with us. And it's not easy for me sometimes. I have moments where I'm saying, how am I going to get through this? But I do. I just keep going. I hold on and I keep going. And I know how important it is to just be here for myself and for you, and to be a support system. So there's no turning back. We are on the path to the new earth, heaven on earth. So the earth has reached critical mass. It's been pushed beyond any norms, and we are experiencing a change of conditions in the physical reality. So what does that mean exactly? That means that you might start to feel like I did today. You might start to feel some kind of a loss because the old parts of you are leaving. There's not going to be much darkness left, and there will be those who must leave because they cannot embrace the darkness. And if you're here and you're a first timeline arrival and you've awakened and you're ascending to a higher consciousness, to the fifth dimension, maybe you're already there, you will know that it's going to feel like a lot of change within your system. Maybe you're going to wake up in the middle of the night at the same time every night, 4 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. or whatever it may be. You might wake up and then not be able to go to sleep, or you might stay up all night long and you can't sleep. There's going to be different feelings and experiences you're going to have within your vessel, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, because there is change taking place within you. We are coordinating, all of this is being coordinated with the same time the earth is repairing itself, it's healing itself, and it's transforming into this new earth. So everything dark is leaving. It's in the process of leaving. So the strange stuff is going to continue until it's all gone. How long is that going to be? I'm not quite sure. It seems to be happening pretty fast. Like I said, a lot of this suddenly died. Now I know, there's going to be our own personal experiences. You might sense that your family members or your friends are kind of departing from your life because they don't quite understand you, or they're not realizing, hey, Craig, hi, people. It can be hard to keep the fear, anxiety away, but we're try the spiritual every day. Lovely to see and listen to you, Mary, Craig. And thanks for joining us, Craig. Hey, Craig, is this your first time? So I'm grateful to have you here. You're in Cornwall, UK. Thanks, Craig. Yes, exactly. It's very hard to keep the fear and anxiety away. However, you know what? What does fear do? Fear stops us in our tracks. Fear will prevent us from achieving our destiny. And, it's going to affect our nervous systems. Maybe it will, you'll get higher blood pressure, or your heart will, feel as though you're getting a panic attack. And we want to just kind of become these fearless individuals. And I appreciate Craig for bringing this up, because that's exactly what fear does. It will harm us. I've shared with you that the number one fear that people have is dying. Is dying. And you know what? That's kind of, you're coming back full circle, aren't you? If you stand here and you fear about dying, it's like you're almost encouraging that to happen, because we say cause and effect. Our thoughts are so powerful. They carry a charged impulse. There's feelings and emotions attached to our thoughts. And if we sit around worry, 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 we're wasting our time. Let's let go of that. Let's leave that behind us. Let's live in this moment and have gratitude for this very moment. It's a beautiful moment that we're in this right here on this new earth, Gaia. And let's remind ourselves to have self-love and compassion for ourselves and others. And so we are experiencing some changes in our conditions, our physical, personal conditions, and our physical reality. And it's going to continue to happen. And I can't emphasize that enough, because we have reached critical mass. There's signs, there's messages we're receiving, and it's time now. It's like almost as though the sun and the earth said, you know what, we're not waiting any longer. It's taking too long, and they're taking over. Those who've awakened will need more sleep. So we must allow ourselves to release emotions. Like I said, I was crying and something triggered my crying. There was a family member that I heard was not feeling well. And then all of a sudden I couldn't stop crying and crying and crying. And I was stopping. I was like, I'm embarrassed because I wasn't alone when it was happening. And I did with all my might. I tried to stop crying, but I couldn't. That's how much I had to let it go. So it's okay to have that happen. Just like it's okay if you go on like a little spurt of having to eat a whole bunch of food, or kind of some way of dealing with all of this change that we're in transition that we're going through right now. Now, just because we can't see the frequencies that are around us doesn't mean they're not here. As I've shared with you, we have those frequencies coming from the cell towers, the 5G. Don't sleep in the same room as your router, because it's giving off radiation. You want to spend, I think they say it's 30 feet from your router. Try to sleep that far from your router. And we're going to be having, all of these frequencies and these vibrations come at us momentarily until everything really shifts all the way to the fifth dimension and everyone's awakened. And if they're awakened and they choose not to come with us to the 5 dimension, that's entirely up to them. So let's allow ourselves to release these emotions. Maybe have these little, these little moments of not having it all together. That's okay. You know what? As I say, why fight it? So what? Tomorrow's another day. We'll get through it. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to dust myself off and I'm going to keep going. Maybe you need to drink more water to accommodate all the light energies coming into your body and your system. Most of all, let's have patience and steadiness with ourselves. We must have patience with ourselves, because this is a very trying time. We're experiencing a lot of change right now out in the physical reality and within our physical vessel. So we're going to stay strong during this period of time and this transformation. I don't know how long it's going to last. I started my ascension. I awakened, like fully awakened. It was a year ago in September, this past September. And I received light codes. I don't know if you've received any light codes. I spoke to a family member this morning, and they had a light code last night, and they felt it, and then they had their eyes closed and they saw all this light with their eyes closed. That's one of the signature symptoms of awakening, is receiving these light codes while you're sleeping. The less fortunate will be engulfed by evil. They will depart, they will pass away, and they were going to change form into a non-organic being. So Mother Earth is urgently healing and repairing. Those living in love will survive. Now, if you're living in love, you will survive. Why is that? Because that's where we're going. When I say we're going to the light, that's what exists in the light. We're only in love. In the light, we all reach the light. Now, it's not a location. It's right here within you. So this physical reality is catching up with us who are already awakened. It's now going to catch up, and like that, it's going to shift. All of those skyscrapers, all of those buildings out there will be deserted. There will be a new civilization that is created. Now, how is it going to create? It's going to create through cosmic events, through divine events, and through our willingness to surrender to, I guess, ourselves and the light and the love that is possible. Now, we all were born with this beautiful glowing light in our heart. And through many experiences we had in the physical reality, in the matrix of these structures, there was hate that we were around, there was harm to ourselves, to our physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional being. We weren't allowed to be ourselves and express ourselves. We were told who to be, what to say, how to dress. And we were shoved into these systems, and we didn't have a chance to be ourselves. So we are truly going back to ourselves. You might start to have memories of your past, whether it's in another star system, or if it's memories of you as a child or another incarnation. You're going to begin to have memories. So those living in love will survive. The haters have no place here and no longer will sustain themselves. So they're not going to make it. And I think that's why I freaked out today when I got home. Divine energies have taken over the earth. I freaked out today. I truly did. And I'm telling you the truth, because as an intuitive, I'm an intuitive. So an intuitive is someone, and being an intuitive is based on feelings with no proof, to know and understand something without special knowledge. You just have a knowing within you. And I receive information, and I guess you would say I have premonitions, and I might not be able to see it vividly, but I have a sense of something. And I get a sense when something bad is about to happen, or something, I should stay away from. It might be harmful, and even good stuff. I get premonitions about everything, good and bad, and minor situations and events. And I guess I freaked out because I sense that there's something really big that's about to happen. Now, I know we're in Mercury's in retrograde. I think it's till the 13th or the 16th, I want to say. So there is a little bit more confusion. And they say, what is this Mercury in retrograde about? It's about love, leadership, and love, leadership, and relationships from the past, and letting go of them. And so maybe that's where some of the release comes in. I don't know. But I am just, providing some of my personal experience today, because I'm a little off my path. I'm a little bit off my regular, rah, rah, rally. I'm just dealing like you are. And so that makes me a little bit more, I guess, um, similar to you, I hope. So when you're an intuitive, you might have flashes of information about what's about to happen spontaneously, through your intuition. And it's not through reasoning or critical thinking. You just receive this information. It's almost like it comes to you, like I said, in flashes. And it's not from reasoning or observations. You have a direct knowing about something. And intuitives understand something within seconds. Now, I know we've shared that you have psychic phenomenon, you have abilities within you, you have your own clear senses, and I'm reminding you of that. And the more that you practice, the more that you will be in touch with everything within you. And look what happens to someone who's an intuitive. I guess because I'm so empathic and I'm receiving energies, and I guess I'm allowing it to come into my space. I'm kind of reacting to it. And I don't like to react. When I'm out of control, it kind of freaks me out a little bit. And we know that because I say, let's control our thoughts. And I'll say, we can control our thoughts. I'm not going to have any negative thoughts. And maybe this is my coping right now, is talking about it with you. So let's get on to Awake 2023. Now, anyone who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel and write in the chat and tell me what's going on with you. I'm Mary. This is Living in the Light, and I'm right here in New York, 45 minutes outside of Manhattan. And today I'll tell you the weather here. It was a little bit chilly. It seemed like it was going to snow. I'm waiting for that first big snowfall in New York. And then after we have a few of those, then I'll be waiting for the spring, and I'll be excited for when it gets warm. I love seasons. I'm a season gal. I love seasons. I love to put on the snow boots and the big warm coat and, the hats. And then I also like to wear shorts and t-shirts and little dresses and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyway, Awake 2023. Well, did you christen the new year? Did you have champagne like I did? The other day I basically drank 3 or 4 glasses of champagne myself because I was enjoying the new year so much. Now, Awake 2023 is all about being made aware. Now, if you're here with me, I'm guessing that you've been awakened. And we just spoke about some ascension symptoms. So when you're awake, what exactly does that mean? It means that you have an awareness. You're thinking out of the box. You see things more clearly. We're going to speak about ways, and what exactly is that. So you're stirring up from a sleep. You're no longer in a sleeping state. If you look out into the masses, there's more and more of us awakening every single day. And why is that? Because this light that's coming onto the earth, it's like when you go into a dark room or a closet and then you bring a flashlight in, you can see everything in there. And right now there's a flashlight being shown on every aspect that's going on this globe. And if anyone has a question, what they do is they go down the rabbit hole with their flashlight and they shine it in the face of evil. And then evil has no escape. Evil doesn't like the light. Evil doesn't like light. It doesn't like the word Jesus Christ. And it doesn't like you if you're embracing them with love. So those are my 3 recommendations. Shine light, say Jesus Christ, and embrace them with love. And we are all awakening here on this beautiful new earth, Gaia. And so you've been awakened. And maybe it came through by chance. You might have been looking at some information and then it just 2 + 2 wasn't equaling 4 anymore. It was equaling F and you said, that doesn't make sense anymore. Or maybe it was something that happened to you that was very serious. You might have been forced to take some medicine or lose your job. And then you said, but I don't want to lose my job, but I don't want to take the medicine. Maybe that's how you awoken. Maybe you had a spiritual awakening. You might have been meditating and you went to another reality or another realm and you realized that you didn't really like how this physical reality was going so much. You might have been just tired of all the rush, go, 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 task, time. You might have been sick of getting knocked in the face, stepped on the face, or told, don't take it personally. Well, you know what? I'm taking it all personally. I don't think it's okay. I'm an empath. I don't like it. Those narcissists out there, everyone has an opportunity to change. I believe anyone can change with their own belief system if they choose to. They can ask for forgiveness. They can say they're sorry. They can send love. They can become more aware of their own behavior. So the obvious lies and deceits are forcing a huge awakening across the globe. It's happening right here and now in this beautiful new earth Gaia. Look, we're going to bring up the sunrise right now because I sense that it's time to bring some light into this conversation. So hello, everyone. And so The cosmic energy is coming right now. Humans have been living in captivity. Have you felt as though that you've been chained up? Maybe you've had a chain around your voice or your face. We spoke about the masks. Get rid of the masks. Get rid of the chains. No more chains. We're breaking free. We've climbed out of the matrix. It's time now. I'm tired of being in the matrix. Aren't you? I'm looking for free energy. I'm looking for peace on earth. I'm looking to come out of my home and hug everyone and everyone to just have fun now. It's a choice. Here we are on this earth. Wouldn't it be great to just have fun all day long? That's where we're going. It's all thoughts. You can create the reality with your thoughts. So we've been living in captivity, humans, for thousands of years. And now we've been released. Now, have you been released? I have. I'm a rebel. And I bet you are. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a truth seeker. I'm a rebel. Not the rebels that create havoc out there, the rebels that believe there's another reality. And I bet you're with me on this. So the cosmic energy from the sun, sporadically since spring, has been hitting the earth. There's been solar flares, and it's been happening, and it's upgrading its inhabitants. Here we are. The solar flash is happening. There's X-class solar flares. The Schulman resonance revealed some blackouts. I guess it was, I don't know how many hours of blackouts, a few days of blackouts where nothing was showing up on the Schulman resonance. So here's a quote from the Bible. Awake, sleeper, and arise from the dead. Christ will shine on you. And you know what? I think we've been kind of living with the dead, haven't we? We've been living in a world. It's very low vibrational. It's all about, competition, capitalism, consumerism, what you have, who you are, what you look like, all the stuff you have. You got a fancy dress on, your expensive pen, throwing things again, expensive pen. These glasses are so expensive. I'm important. I'm impressive. Pretentious people. I don't want any of that. I want all the real people out on the earth. I'm one of you guys. I'm a real person. That's where I'm going. We're all going to survive. The meek shall inherit the earth. And we are going to inherit the earth. And so heaven is coming to earth through God's miraculous intervention and recreation. And here we are together. So Revelation said, "Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away." That is what I believe is happening. The old earth is leaving. The new heaven is coming the old earth is gone, and the new earth is coming with a new heaven as well here with us. Which means what? So when all of us have awakened and we've entered the light, and we're in the light, and we're existing there, we're going to see ascended masters and angelic beings, celestial beings. And let me get into angels. Angels are celestial beings. They're benevolent. They come from the heavens to earth to protect humanity. They're protectors, they're messengers, and they're warriors. And they're here for humanity. Now, I don't know if you've ever experienced a vivid dream or a vision with an angel or angels. You have at least 2 guardian angels that are with you from the time you're born, and they're here to protect you. And maybe they whisper something in your ear. Maybe you see a feather on the ground or a coin. You hear a bell ring, and it reminds you of angels. Or you see sequences of numbers like 1111 or 222 or 777. Those are angel numbers. And they're here for divine intervention. They're here to remind you about the purity and goodness that's in the world. And angels have been fighting for us. They've been warriors for us. They've been defeating evil. And we should be very grateful for angels. Now, in fine arts, we see them with wings and halos. Is that what they really look like? Well, I don't know unless you encounter one. Maybe you see sparks of light out of the corner of your eye. You feel like a little touching on the top of your head, or brush across your face. Maybe sometimes when you're having a bad day, or something is going wrong for you, maybe you experience an angel coming into your physical reality. You might not see them, but you sense some kind of positive energy around you, and maybe it's an angel. And here's an angel, and there's a dove right here, which is also a symbol of light and goodness. So let's ask for angels to come into our physical reality. And I believe when we all enter the light, we've all been in the light, we will see angelic beings. Now, if you have activated your third eye, which is the third eye chakra between your two brows, maybe you've looked into your third eye and you've seen in another realm angels. I don't know. That's a possibility. And so Revelation, again, I'll say, said, then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away. So that's good news, isn't it? Good news is coming for us. This is very positive. I know I started out by talking about all this stuff that we're going through, these events that are happening, these experiences, and it looks like it's a little bit in shambles because the old civilization is leaving. It's departing. So we will feel as though, we need to be grounded. So I'm going to remind you the steps to grounding. So if you're not grounded and your thoughts are kind of circling, or you just feel very disconnected from your body, and you don't feel as though or yourself, and you say, I just don't feel like myself today. And maybe you fall back into an addiction, or you do something naughty that you don't normally do, and you say, oh, why did I do that? And you have some shame. Just know it's because you're changing, you're evolving, just like the earth is evolving. So give yourself some patience, forgive yourself, allow yourself to experience whatever it needs to get to the next place, the next location. We all have our own destiny, our own personal destiny. There's a path that's the best path for us. And when we were born, we had this within our hearts and our spirits, except it was covered. And it was covered. And maybe you had trauma, and you just didn't even have any moments to even experience who you really were. Now is the time in this moment. So let's ground ourselves. Let's imagine our feet firmly planted in the earth's surface. And let's maybe wiggle our toes. Maybe you want to grab your knees. Be in this moment. I'm holding this cup here. Let me remind you how to come into this moment. There's little Elsa on the couch sleeping right here. She's moving a little bit. I have a table in front of me, a desk. Remind yourself of where you are physically to ground yourself. Also, remind yourself in this moment, what time is it? It's 7:43 in New York. What time is it where you are? And that will help ground you. Now, I always say you can go out to nature. You can stand on the roots of a strong, healthy tree because its energy field is very powerful. You can stand on the roots of a strong, healthy tree, and that will help ground you. Let's not live in the past. It doesn't really matter what's happening in the past. Let's be in this moment right now. So let's realize there's a complete life-altering event that's going on right now in our own lives. It's spontaneous and it's without effort. Some of it's we need to focus on, and some of it's just going to rapidly happen to us because as soon as you awaken, these light codes are activating all the DNA, all the cells within your body. It's 100% good DNA. They say our DNA was only 2% valid. It's 100% valid DNA. You're an advanced being of light. And see, that was the trick. We were being distracted our whole entire lives. We were told to look over there, not over here. We weren't supposed to focus in on ourselves. We were all thinking about the physical reality was so important, and it wasn't. We were. This is where all the gold is. We're made of gold, basically. We are worthy. We are worthy beings of light. Now, let me remind you that you're a worthy being of light. It doesn't matter who you are, what you have, what you do. You're worthy as is. Maybe you were criticized growing up. Maybe you have self-criticism. Let's begin to love ourselves. The longer we can love ourselves, the quicker we'll stay in the light. That's what we want to do. We want to stay in the light. So maybe you feel as though your life has been a lie. So this is some signature symptoms of being awakened. You feel as though your life has been a lie, disconnected, because you've awakened and you've said, like, what the heck? This is what I've been doing with my life? You've reevaluated your beliefs and you're adopting new ones. Maybe you're looking for a new reality. 3, vivid dreams. Your dreams are so vivid. You wake up and you know details, and it seems as almost like it's real life, like your waking state. And you say, well, that was a dream. How could that have been a dream? That was so vivid. And the meanings of the dreams are related to your personal journey. If just let me know if there's any glitches in my video, because sometimes when I speak of topics I'm not supposed to, there's glitches. So I hope there's no glitches today, because I haven't asked anyone. Okay, synchronicities. Are you having synchronistic events in your life? In other words, whatever you're thinking about seems to happen. If you're thinking of a person, you run into them. Maybe you're over and over seeing certain numbers, signs, having feelings. You know, synchronicity is when events collide that have nothing to do with each other, and you must pay attention. There's something validating you. And then 5, your relationships are shifting and transforming. Now, all of those are signs that you've awakened. And that's it for tonight on the topics. So let's get into some psychic phenomenon. We're almost hitting the 1 hour mark. Let's see. I mentioned about being an intuitive. Now, are you experiencing some more, I guess, beyond the times that we're here practicing? Are you experiencing receiving any impressions? In other words, flashes of information are coming to you. Now, at first, I know when this begins, you are not really quite sure what's your thought, what some other person's thought, or some other being, or some kind of information that's coming into your mind that's not yours. It seems a little blurry at first. Well, after a while, the more you practice your psychic phenomenon, the more you will realize that you will definitely have an idea of distinguishing between the two. What's your thoughts and your voice, and another voice coming from somewhere else. It's going to be very apparent, is what I'm trying to say. And so, you know, we've spoken about all the different psychic phenomenon that you can have. Your clairsenses, which is clairaudience, clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairgustinance, clairsestinence, claircognizance. And we know that we are going to all master at least one. I know you're going to master at least one. I know you're capable of that, because as soon as you tune into your feelings, emotions, your clairsenses, you'll realize that there's more there. There's every day, there's more evidence of this. Now, because you're awakened and you're practicing your clairsenses, it might happen more rapidly for you than those who aren't practicing, because it's a muscle that you're working. And what do they say about mastering something? It's a certain amount. Is it 10,000 hours? I forget how many hours they say. But I know you're going to master it, because it's something that's kind of fun to practice. It's kind of like a little bar trick. You know, you go out into the public and maybe you're in some kind of community event, or you're around people that you don't know. Maybe it's a party and you can practice with strangers, and maybe you hold their hand, whatever works for you. We all have a personal way of achieving our psychic phenomenon. For me, I remember from the beginning, I think I would hold either one hand or two hands, and then I'd say my same line was, "Hi, my name is Mary, and your name is. If it's okay, I would like to connect with you." And they would say their name, and they would say yes, and I'd hear their voice, and then all the information would flood. And I would have to say it pretty quickly because I would lose it. It would be flashes of information related to the person. Now, I initially tuned into their heart, and I would see in my third eye maybe spirit animals for them. I'd have an impression about an experience they had. I'd have a mental picture, but it would be flashes. A lot of time I received their, I guess, most negative experience. And that's how we kind of got right to whatever problem they were having or issue. It was blocking them from their destiny. And I'm just sharing this personal story with you, this experience, because I guess it's a way of you understanding that mm, there's different ways of having psychic phenomenon. We know that there's mediums. We always heard about mediums where they would channel it during a seance, and they'd hold people's hands and they'd say, "Oh, your Uncle Ted says," and receives information. And that's one form of psychic phenomenon. You might be someone that is very much connected to energy and light. You might be able to tune into certain frequencies, and you might be able to tune into light and travel through certain frequencies. Maybe travel through sound, travel through electricity, travel through light, travel through the cosmos, maybe travel through your dreams. There's a lot of traveling going on when in psychic phenomenon, because you're basically going from one place to another without leaving, and you're also receiving information from another source. So let's be aware of all of that. You might have what's called thought pictures. And, at first, without knowing, when you start receiving some of this information, it's a little unnerving. And you say, "Oh, this is really making me uncomfortable. Like, I don't even want to receive this. I have my own stuff." And that might be part of why you tune some of it out. I say there's a dial, you can turn it up or turn it down. Now, I used to turn it down in some degree because I didn't want to receive it. It was too much. I had my own stuff. I said, "I can't take all this on. This is way too much. And I want to get this person's stuff too, and that person's stuff." And now I just say, "All right, bring it on." And I can handle it because I've kind of gone to all the boundaries. I've kind of hit some of the worst possible situations. I don't know if I've shared. I know I spoke about this during my morning shows when I used to do the 11 o'clock. But I used to do house clearings, and I would I would take dark entities that were attached to people, other beings, other humans. I would take the dark energy or stuff that was attached off of them. And so I know there was like a lot of demonic energies that would be like, "Oh yeah, they didn't like when I did that." And they would kind of come in the most scariest form and come into my mind, or they'd surface somehow. And at first, I really was freaked out. I said, "I can't do this. This is freaky." And then I kind of took a break from it. And then I learned something else about psychic phenomenon. And then I encountered it, and I didn't want to, but it still came. And so I had to get through it. And I'm okay with it now. I'm saying, whatever, fine. What I do is I embrace evil with love. Like, I hug it. I say, "I'm hugging you. I'm hugging you." And it doesn't like that. So just know that if something attacks you, like you see it or you sense it, just tell it, mind to mind. Say, "I'm going to love you. I'm going to hug you," and it will run away. It doesn't like love. So ESP is accurate telepathic messages. They're thought waves. And we can have a personal belonging, like we can have a object token reading where we read someone's object, and there's thought waves attached to this object. So it would be, you go into a setting and you say, oh, I'm going to read your whatever it is, something of theirs. Maybe it's their mug, maybe it's a piece of clothing. And I know this is not easy, but if you tune in, you'll probably receive at least one impression. And then maybe the one impression is going to be something like, you'll say, well, that's nothing. And you say, I don't want to even say it, it's stupid. But it might be very meaningful to that person. You'd be surprised. It could be anything. It could be as simple as, someone's pillow. It could be, I saw you walking through a door. Whatever it is, don't neglect from telling. If you receive an impression about someone, tell that person, because you'd be surprised. When I did some corporate events and I would have like 30 people a night or 40 people a night where they'd come and it'd be 5 or 6 minutes and you have to do it really fast. Sometimes I would receive the most bizarre images and then I wouldn't want to say anything. And finally they'd say, did you receive anything? I tell them and they say, oh yeah, that means blah, blah, blah. And it meant something to them. So just know, just because it seems unimportant to you doesn't mean it's not unimportant to whoever you're reading. Okay, so let's do a little exercise right now because we're almost hitting the 1 hour mark. Okay, so we're going to relax. Oh, look who's here. The bots are back. Thanks. When the bots come, that means I'm hitting something. Let's write the name down because I want to block these bots. Block the bots. I'm going to block the bots. You guys are getting blocked. Girls 18XX XYZ. Okay. No worries. We're going to block you, bots. Okay. So let's relax. So we're going to be like a rag doll. You a rag doll? So just relax your body. Let out a breath. And I'd like you to, send away any thoughts that you have. Because we're just tuning into our clairsenses and our clairvoyance. We all are capable of mastering at least one clairsense. I know you can. So join us. All right, so we're relaxing, we're letting go. I don't know if you have any feelings in your fingertips, any vibrations. And then we're going to drop down into, make physical contact with all our senses. Like I always say, like a puzzle piece in a children's puzzle. It just drops down and fits perfectly. And that's what you're doing. You're just dropping down. You're surrendering to all of your clairsenses. We're kind of tuning into anything that we're feeling, sensing. Maybe it's a sensation. Maybe it's a sound, a tone, something visual, whatever it is, a smell, a taste, a feeling. So we're letting out a breath. If you have to let out a couple of breaths so you feel more relaxed, that might be necessary. So we're relaxed and we're really surrendering and we're taking away any doubt because we're not going to have any proof when we do this. There's not going to be any proof. When you do psychic phenomenon, unless you're doing it in front of someone else and you're receiving information and relaying it back, you're not going to get, validation. So accept that you have to just trust and you have to believe you can do this. All right, so I'd like you to tune into one of your clairsenses. Maybe it's your hearing. Maybe it's your clairvoyance. Maybe it's your feeling. Maybe it's your sense of touch. Maybe it's your claircognizance, which is the psychic ability of knowing about certain situations, people, places from the past or the present or the future without having any way of collaborating the knowledge until it is either confirmed or actually comes to you. So basically what that means is a knowing. Your sense of smell and your sense of taste. All right, so I'm going to tune into my claircognizance. And what we normally do is we just check that clairsense. So check your clairsense. Are you receiving any impressions right in this moment before you were even giving a suggestion? For me, am I hearing? Yes, I am. I'm hearing what's in this room. I'm hearing, like I always say, appliances and the computer. And I hear like waves of energy. And if it's feeling, you check your feeling. How are you feeling? Whatever is working for you. Stay on whatever's working for you till you've mastered it. And if you get bored with it, try something else. All right, so now let's make this suggestion. You tuned into one of your clairsenses. Like I said, I'm utilizing my clairaudience. And I'd like to make this suggestion. I'd like to make this suggestion of you're in the future and you are receiving or you have accomplished your destiny. So your destiny has already been accomplished. So I'm making this suggestion. Let's see what impressions you receive. You've relaxed, you've dropped down into your clairsenses, and I'm making this suggestion that you've already achieved your destiny. And let's see what impressions we receive. I'm going to utilize my clairaudience, my hearing. Okay, so that's very interesting. When you've reached your destiny, you think, oh, you have this idea that it's going to change you entirely. And so I realized after I received impressions about my destiny, and it was past my destiny. I was on the other side of it. I've always imagined I'm going to be so happy and so excited. And you know what? These were the two things that happened. I was laying in my bed and I just said, now that I did that, now I want to rest. Was I joyful? I wasn't jumping up and down. I think I was just relieved. And then I was at the bank and I was buying some stuff, but I didn't seem like overly happy. I think I was just glad that I had accomplished my destiny. And it's amazing because we think all of something else is going to bring us happiness. And maybe we should realize that right here in this moment, there could be a lot of happiness. And we don't have to wait for our happiness to come when we reach our destiny. That was a little eye-opening for me. I don't know what happened for you. Anybody who's joining us, I hope you like the video and subscribe and let me know what you received. Okay, so let's try another one. Let's try another exercise. I'm extra thirsty again today. I don't know what's going on. I think it's all the salt I keep eating. It's just not good for me. I don't know why I keep doing that, because I can't help myself for all these solar flares that are coming on the earth. By the way, do I ever tell you, it's funny because I take on all these little silly little accents that I do, which really aren't even good accents, but I take on all these different voices that I do. And I don't know if I've ever shared with you. So I'm Irish, Scottish, Swiss, and Belgian. I'm a bit of a mutt. Okay. Let's see. Now, I'm going to bring up chakras. We spoke about the 7 chakras within our body, and then there's 5 outside of our body. And I have the diagram. And yesterday, I guess it was last week, we did some exercises with our chakras. Now, why am I doing this? For us to connect more with ourselves. Maybe we're going to connect to other realms. This might be a way of connecting to another realm. So we've done exercises so far. We did one with the soul star chakra, the earth star chakra. The earth star chakra, 12 inches from the bottom of your feet is the earth star chakra. It's 12 inches. It's Mother Earth connection that you have. And it's balance, healing, and activation. So you see how important this is, right? It's a straight line up from the ground all the way to the heavens. That's what the chakras are connecting us with the earth and the heavens. And it's vital. That's very important. And we did a exercise related to the universal chakra. So today I'd like to do an exercise related to the galactic chakra. Now, the galactic chakra is the 11th chakra. So it's 12 inches. So that's 12, 24, 36, 48 inches from the top of your head, your crown chakra. So 48, imagine 48 inches above your head is the galactic chakra, and its communications with the ascended masters, healing, teleportation, biolocation, time and space, and humanity. Okay, so this is a big one. This is a good one. Let's try this galactic chakra. We're going to try to connect to ascended masters, to healing, teleportation. So let's see where it takes us. So we're saying it's 48 inches. 1, 2, 3, 48 inches from the top of our crown chakra, the top of our head. So we're going to close our eyes. We're going to go through all the steps that we normally do. All right, so we're going to relax, like you're a rag doll. We're a rag doll. And we're going to let go of any tension in our body. And let out a breath if you need to. If you need to say words, let the words out. Because we're really, really trying to just have as much calmness within us, much serenity and stillness, so that we can achieve the most impressions. So we're going to push away any thoughts, right? And then we're going to drop down into our senses. So we drop down into our senses. We're making physical contact, and you're going to choose 1 or 2 of your senses to connect to. And we're going to surrender, and we're going to accept whatever happens, and we're going to say, it's okay. We don't need any validation. Okay, so we are connecting with 48 inches above our heads, right, which is beyond where you can see even my hand is. And that is the galactic chakra. So the suggestion is any impressions that you're receiving connected to your galactic chakra, which is connection to the ascended masters, healing, teleportation, biolocation, time and space, and humanity. All right, so I'm going to be quiet and let's see if we receive any impressions. I'm utilizing my sense of hearing, and I'm going to utilize my sense of feeling. Okay, so I received, I'm not done receiving information, but I, I heard like the sounds of a horse, and then it was, when a horse jumps up on its hind legs, and then there was dogs around the horse. So I don't know if the dogs were barking at the horse. And then I saw lightning. So I don't know if that's why the horse was oh, I'm getting pain right here. I don't know if that's why the horse kind of seemed upset and irritated because of the lightning. And I saw grass. Let's see, anything else I'm receiving. So I don't know. I'm connecting. If I'm connecting with the galactic chakra, I don't know if you have. Let's see. It's interesting. I'm receiving so many animals. I also saw an eagle, and it was flying. It was loud. It's almost as though every single animal that I am connecting with, or bird, they're in a very upset mode. So I don't know what that means. They're not calm and peaceful. They're very irate. So I don't know what that means, but I don't know if you received anything. If you did, share with us. So we are pretty well finished for this evening. Today we covered mummy masks, critical mass, awake 2023, intuitive. I'm really grateful for everyone who joined us this evening. And let me remind you how special you are. You're a beautiful being of light. You're worthy just as is. And I'm so grateful to have you here with me. And I look forward to continuing living in the light. And I'll be back again tomorrow evening at 7 p.m., as well as Thursday. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And you can always look at some of my other videos. And I hope you like and subscribe to the channel. And I'm wishing good things for you. And I'm spinning light, and you're in the center of it. And I hope you're making a wish. And I'm spinning the light clockwise and then counterclockwise. And I'm sending it to you. And I want good things for you. Everyone be well. Have a good night. And I'll be back again tomorrow. Thank you.